Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today we jump back into DC Worlds Collide for the February update to the tier list. We've made some minor changes. I've also added some additional detail to the tier list that we're going to talk about. But I know the January tier list is only, 2-3 weeks old. But we've got some more experience with the game, and I wanted to share with you kind of where I've made some adjustments. There's a lot to discuss here, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Always a lot to discuss, right? Especially when we talk about characters and we're replacing them. One thing that I do encourage is take a look at my Discord. After the tier list videos, I always put up a screenshot of the tier list over there. The workbook isn't ready to be shared yet. I'm still working on it. I'm adding more to it as well. So I want to make sure it's as complete as possible before I put a link out there for everybody. But it's coming along nicely. I've added a gearing section to it. So some suggestions that I have as far as 4-piece and 2-piece sets when you gear your characters. But let's go ahead and take a look at the tier list. All right, and here we are. So if we take a look at my notes down here, these are the changes that I did make to the list. I did move Vixen down. I just didn't feel, and I'm not seeing her kit as effective as I initially thought. It looks pretty cool on paper, and she's got this block buff, but when you're building a block team, which is a great team in the game right now, you're going to go with Nightwing over Vixen. If you don't have Nightwing, then you can use Vixen for that block buff, which is kind of nice. You're going to also pair her up with probably Ocean Master for that as well. Also get that additional bleed effect because she does have bleed in her kit. But when you take a look at the overall kit, how it performs compared to a lot of the other tanks up above, it falls a little short. So I did move her down to B. When we talk about John's new to the game. We just had a summoning event for him. I did unlock him. I do have him up to 5 stars. And I felt he's a solid C, at least for right now. If we take a look at his kit right here, his ultimate I think is pretty cool. I mean, he's got this rifle, this sniper rifle, right? Sets up for 2 turns. While he's got his rifle out, it's 30% damage reduction, and 30% of that damage taken is going to be absorbed in the rifle, and then that's going to be launched back at the enemy, right? Dealing superpower damage equal to 200% of the amount absorbed. It's kind of nice. On paper, it's really cool. You have this offensive tank. He's more of an off tank more than anything else, because when you think of a tank, you really want that tank to absorb or block that damage. And I think when you take a look at his kit overall, it kind of underperforms. His other ability here, attacks an enemy target with the least types of debuffs, does some damage there, and then also randomly adding a stack of debuffs there as well. This here, when attacked, has a 40% chance to counterattack the damage dealer, dealing superpower damage. Again, a tank with some counterattack. That's Nightwing. You're definitely going to use him. I think when we take a look at some of those game modes that require specific characters, he's definitely a good option, so I wouldn't not build him, but I wouldn't make him part of your top 5, and I wouldn't put a whole ton of focus on him right now. And then when we take a look at his passive, this looks really good on paper. I mean, during battle, increases max HP by 10%. When attacked, has a chance to permanently gain 1 stack of weakness insight. What that is each layer increases by 2% and reduces damage with a maximum of 10 layers, lasting until the end of battle. The chance, it's a basic rate, is 40%. Each type of debuff the damage dealer has adds an extra 5%. But again, in practice, he does fall quite short. So that's why I've got him at a C right now. If we take a look at Ocean Master and Bloodsport, they were both B. I did move them up. This block team is very cool. Ocean Master does this weekend, and then on the weekend he's got these bleeds if the enemy already has a weekend. And also for the block team, every time a teammate blocks, then he's got this counterattack. Granted, he doesn't do a ton of damage. However, when you've got, let's just say, Bloodsport, right? I've got Bloodsport up there as well. He guards the entire team. Sometimes there's an AoE attack, hits everybody all at once. He launches multiple counterattacks, and it does some pretty decent damage. I wish he did a little bit more, but with a block team, the amount of counterattacks that he has, it actually works out pretty well. So him and Bloodsport, I still feel together are a little bit of a duo, but you put them in that block team, and they do very, very well. Mirror Master, I am adding, actually, I don't have him on here. I forgot to add him on here, but I am adding another elite to the mix, and that's going to be Mirror Master. That's this guy right here. Let me go ahead and pull them up right here. Where are you, Mirror Master? Right here. I'm actually putting him into my reserve league. But he's a pretty decent back row attacker. So attacks enemy back row 4 times, each dealing superpower damage equal to 40% of the attack. He also has this beam with a mirror gun, dealing superpower damage to 120% of attack to an enemy in the back row. And then this here, during battle, increases attack power by 15% upon dealing damage, inflicts the target with 1 random type of debuff that Mirror Master has for one round. I think he's a decent elite, especially when you don't have a ton of back row attackers in the game, and some of the battles call for taking out that back row fairly quickly. So he's actually going to be added to the list. Sorry I didn't add him here, but he's going to be a B. I don't have him up here. I think Canary and Freeze are probably the best elites in the game. But I also believe that Mirror Master deserves a place on the list at the B level. All right, so that's the list. Those are the changes that I made and some of the rationale behind it. When we go to the explanation, I was telling you that I did add a gearing section here. This is not complete. I'm still working on this. So another reason why I'm not putting this out just yet. But these are my suggestions as far as gear. One thing that I noticed, and unless it just doesn't say, if I put 6 pieces of attack, it's not going to give me 2, 4, and 2 as far as the bonuses goes. It's only going to give me up to that 4-piece bonus. So it makes no sense to put 2 more pieces of attack. So in some of these instances where maybe I wanted to go all attack, I've got some, or whatever the 4-piece is, like maybe block. Maybe I wanted 2 additional pieces of block, but you don't get that bonus, right? So Wonder Woman, I've got 4-piece attack and 2-piece crit. Nightwing, definitely 4-piece block. You want that block as high as you can, especially if you got Ocean Master on that team, because you're going to do a lot of counterattacks there. For the 2-piece gear, HP or attack, definitely for a tank, you typically want more HP. I am playing around with the attack set just because he's got that counter, and he does some pretty decent damage with that as well. So playing around with those 2 pieces. Green Arrow, full attack and crit. There, Wonder Woman, I know I just already passed her up, but attack crit, her entire kit is centered around attack and crit, so it just makes sense there. Kid Flash, this actually goes for any of your healers, really. You want the heal set so you can do more heals. He also does some heals based on his attack, so that's why I added attack in there, rather than maybe HP for longevity and things like that. And that's working out fairly well right now. If you've got, let's see, if you've got, where are we on the A's? You've got Black Canary for your healer. Same thing. I would put a heal set on her so she does more heals. And then if we take a look, maybe if we take a look at her kit, I'd probably go HP with her. I don't use her anymore. But yeah, so she's got HP equal to 60% of her attack each time. Physical damage, attack. Again, not worried about her attack. Back row damage. She does some back row damage as well. 100% chance of inflicting silence. That's based off her attack as well. So you can go healing attack, but I'd go healing HP and make sure that you have some attack in there, because you definitely want to help with her longevity. If you're using her in later battles where they're doing more damage, she doesn't last as long. So definitely something to keep in mind as you're building up your team. All right, that's what we have. That's what I got. I'm going to continue to work on this piece here until we have got everybody filled out, and that's the tier list. Hopefully that's helpful to you. Very curious on your thoughts. What do you think about the changes that I made? Do you think I've got something completely wrong? Definitely let me know. I always enjoy talking to people about tier lists and the differences there, because some of us just have characters that we love and we feel do a great job, and we just want to see those characters just a little bit higher. But just remember, just because they're lower tier, like maybe A's, B's, or C's, doesn't mean that they're completely useless. I think everybody truly has a spot, especially when you've got a game with so many different game modes that require specific character compositions. So you always want to keep that in mind. All right, everybody, that is what I have for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.